Welcome to Let Me Catch You Up, the podcast where I explain reality TV to my husband.
And I ask a lot of questions.
I'm Liz, a longtime Bravo watcher who's been following Summer House for years.
And I'm Pat, a casual observer who's been in the room, sometimes paying attention.
Each week, we're recapping the latest episode of Summer House, breaking down the drama, the relationships, and everything you might have missed. Whether you've watched every episode,
or you're just trying to keep up.
We're here to catch you up. Let's get into it. And we are back. I think got to do like a little wellness check on each other. How are you holding up?
Summer House related or
Sure.
just in general? You were talking about the whiplash back and forth last episode between like reality and the TV show, and I feel like that's still kind of going on. There's just so much to unpack with the current timeline. I think they're doing a good job of kind of editing the show to keep it somehow kind of relevant with what's going on. Yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot to process.
Yeah. Yes, my algorithm has still been very Summer House heavy. Not as many updates since we last recorded, but Carl's a mess. Both Carl and Lindsay filmed a ad for Uber Eats together, and she was like, I unblocked Carl on Instagram for this. Good for them. I also have seen Kyle and Loverboy posting a lot of different merch and content. I just saw Kyle doing an unboxing video of a blind box for a Loverboy plush keychain.
He's grasping at straw. Okay. So like
something like our kids would like. Yeah. He's definitely capitalizing on the renewed interest in him and people rooting for him. This might save Loverboy. We'll see.
Yeah. Nobody saw that one coming.
I think they'll at least get another month of financing out of this.
Yeah.
I also saw somebody said that West removed Summer House from his Instagram profile, but I don't even know. I mean, I assume he had it before, but he's posted a couple stories on Instagram. It's like, be quiet. No one wants to hear from you right now.
What is he posting?
One post was with, you know, the guy Soho Brody that does like the whiteboard breakdowns, and sometimes West and another guy like react to them. Well, one was just a picture with him in like Indianapolis. Another, he actually posted something because he worked for Complex, like promoting some new Complex Bets thing where he's going to be like hosting something. I don't know. It was like interesting timing for them to be announcing that.
Yeah.
I also saw something that said cameras were potentially picking back up, but I didn't see anything that verified that. It could just be some of the castmates also filming confessionals that were already planned, because Kyle did post like something in front of a green screen with like a caption like, which show is this? So maybe it was for In the City too. But yeah, so we saw the trailer for In the City hit this week as well.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I think I previously thought that it was going to be coming out in like September. I don't know why I thought that, but it's definitely premiering May 19th. And I saw today that it's going to be like led into by the season finale of Summer House. So that's coming up quickly. What did you think?
So they're just going right into it. In terms of like the
trailer,
it was all over the place. I mean, kind of like the trailer for this season of Summer House, when you condense all of that, you know, that whole entire season into like a little snippet, it makes it look kind of like intense and insane the whole entire time. But I'm sure it's probably pretty tame most of the time. And then there's like every episode, there's kind of like a moment. But yeah, I mean, it looks crazy. I think the cast is pretty good.
Yeah, there was a lot of familiar faces. So we have Kyle and Amanda, obviously, and Lindsay. Then it looks like Katie and Matt, who are Kyle and Amanda's friends that were in like episode 8 when they had the old people party. I think those are their friends that got married in Italy that they skinny dipped at the wedding.
Right. Okay.
I don't know for sure, but they did get married in Italy. So
Makes sense.
putting 2 and 2 together. Andrea is back, who we know from Winter House and Summer House. And he's married now to Lexi, who we had seen previously on the show. Danielle is back. Apparently she has a boyfriend now named Owen, but it's spelled like the Irish way, like Eoin.
Yeah. And there, I forget what the drama, there's some drama with her and her boyfriend. Like they are calling him out. I don't know.
Well, we see this clip about Danielle like saying this is the happiest she's ever been. And then we hear Amanda saying he has a whole ass wife still.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Which is rich coming from her, knowing what we know now.
Right.
I liked, it seemed like there was a little bit of drama with Danielle and a different cast member who I didn't recognize. And she's like, well, I didn't like that you wore a white dress to my wedding.
Seemed really mad about that.
Which I believe in, that tracks, given Danielle's previous behavior at like Lindsay's engagement party when her and Carl got engaged, and she made the whole thing about her not knowing ahead of time about the engagement and being Lindsay's best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Danielle's been kind of annoying.
I used to like her, and then at some point she started kind of annoying me, and now I can't get past that. She kind of just irks me a little bit. But
I'm interested to see like what's going on with her and Lindsay's relationship, I guess. But yeah, Danielle had some pretty rough seasons. Like her last season of Winter House was pretty unbearable. And you know, she is a CEO and founder, so it'll be interesting to see where she's at. And then I did recognize another cast member, the woman named Whitney. She was actually on The Bachelor, and I was like, oh, I recognize her from The Bachelor, but I couldn't place it, so I had to look it up.
Got it. I didn't notice.
And then just a couple other things. We do see Amanda and Kyle talking in the preview, and she's like, we don't have a prenup, but if you come for me, I'll come for you.
Oh my God, yeah. So first she said that, and then he was like, well, maybe I will then, or something. And then she was like, are you threatening me? You kind of threatened him first. So
right.
I don't know. It should be interesting.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other castmates that I didn't recognize all seemed interesting. So should we get into episode 10, right?
Episode 10, yeah.
What day is it? So season 10, episode 10.
Yep.
Tea Time. That's what it's called. Not very creative episode title this week, guys.
Well, I mean, I'll allow it just because it's golf related and it's Masters week. So
true. Yeah, this was a big episode for you, having so much golf talk.
Yeah, it's appropriate. This week should all be about golf.
Well, we pick up at Lindsay's housewarming and immediately back into the Bailey and Dara conversation. So Dara does say that she did go into Ben's room to change and that Ben ducked in at some point and they were flirting, but nothing like happened. And Bailey's like, I'm sorry, you know, I'm not trying to spread rumors that you hooked up that you didn't. I was just saying that you guys were flirting. And Dara's like, yeah, we were flirting. And Bailey's like, thank you, because Ben acted like I made it up. Ben was like downplaying it. And then Dara's like, what mad. The hell? Yeah.
I was mad at her for, like, she should have just dropped it and been like, oh, that's funny. Because, like, now you're in a relationship with somebody else. Like, don't bring up, like, don't make drama over, like, I don't know. I just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
It seemed like she was just like, whatever, he can think that if he wants, but I know the truth. I'm sure I don't know, maybe now that we know Ben's with Sabrina, maybe he's trying to downplay any of his flirtatious behavior thus far because he was actually with Sabrina the whole time.
Yeah, I think from Ben's perspective, I think that's part of it. But then also, I think like when they were in that car ride back and KJ was saying like, "Oh, I went on a couple of dates with Dara and stuff." I think Ben realized that there was no shot with Dara for him, so he was like, "All right, I need to like downplay if I was like
Maybe, yeah.
interested in her." So I think it's better for everybody to downplay it. So
But yeah, so then we meet Sabrina. She walks in with Ben. We learn they met in March. It's now August. Ben cares about her a lot. We do see Jesse saying basically he thinks Sabrina is sweet, but he's kind of hung up on how quickly they're jumping back in. And did Ben have a secret girlfriend this whole time? Which is very possible. You said that when he was talking about it before.
yeah, yeah, I think that's a pretty common reality TV thing. Like you're going on a show, especially like a dating show, like Bachelor or whatever, and you have somebody, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get some fame out of this. When I'm done with it, then we'll still be together. But you know, this could really kickstart my influencer career and stuff like that. So, not saying Ben's doing that, but that is something that's pretty common in reality TV. So,
Yeah. Other updates from the housewarming. We meet Scott, Mia's boyfriend. He's there, which was nice. She's excited because he's been so busy with his restaurant openings that he hasn't been around a lot. So she's happy to have him at a social event. We also see a conversation with Mia, Scott, Amanda, Ciara, and they're like joking, like, "Oh, we're all gonna go out together, and Kyle, you can be our fifth wheel." Um, but he's like in a good mood, and he's like, "I'm just happy. Like Amanda agreed to go to couples therapy. I'm feeling hopeful. We only have 2 weekends left." And I was that was my timeline note. I was confused on the timeline when he said they only have 2 weekends left because when the party ended last episode, it was August 3rd. And I feel like they usually like end
like
Labor Day
weekend,
weekend.
that would make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So I was like, what do you mean they only have 2 weekends left? But then when they go back to the summer house, it's August 15th. So they skipped a weekend in the timeline. So I don't know if
Yeah.
Lindsay's housewarming was actually on the weekend and they just didn't say that,
Got it.
which would make sense.
That would make sense. Yeah. So they were like, all right, we're not going to the house this weekend because we're doing something in the city. So
Yeah, I don't know, but I just thought that was weird. Lots of time traveling this season.
yeah.
But yeah, so Kyle's hopeful that him and Amanda have at least like verbalized their problems. And this is maybe a step in the right direction, but we'll see. Another interesting, just like random note, Carl and Bailey were flirting, and Carl's like, "I'm enjoying it, but you got to be careful about hooking up with people in the house." And then we see a flashback to when he dated one of the Lauren, one of the twins, who were part of the cast in the first 2 seasons. He's just like Carl's kind of a monster at that point from a dating standpoint, and she gets really angry and she like takes a watermelon and just like slams it on the hallway. I don't know if you watched any of that season.
No, definitely not. I might have like been around like when you were watching like 1 or 2 episodes, but definitely was not into the show at that point. I've watched it early enough to see Carl when he was a mess, and
Yeah.
so it's not shocking to see those kind of flashbacks, but no, those relationships and the girls that he was hooking up with or whatever, I didn't really recognize any of that.
Well, I'm sure you recognize Paige and Carl.
Well, I recognize Paige.
Also.
I don't. So did they hook up? I didn't remember that.
Yeah, there was a season where they were flirting a lot and they went and made out in the pantry a couple times.
Okay.
And then that season, Paige was like, he only texts me on the weekends. Like, he doesn't actually try to date me during the week. So it never really went anywhere, but they were flirty a little bit at one point.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, so Ciara and Sabrina meet and they are like immediately hitting it off. And I just thought Amanda looked jealous of that because you kind of see her like watching them. And Ciara invites her to come to the house the following weekend. We also see Lindsay give a speech and she's like, "Oh, I hate speeches." But then they show flashbacks to her doing all of these different speeches. Like, sure, Jan. Uh, it was such an awkward speech.
It seems like not only does she give a lot of speeches, but it seemed like she was notorious for giving
Yeah.
like awkward speeches or bad speeches. So it seems like it's kind of her thing.
Yeah. And because she's like talking about how she, has moved, started over, shared her last apartment with her ex fiance, and then kind of like mentions it again that he's there. And it's like, Lindsay, why are you making it so awkward?
Yeah. It started to bother me. I don't know. It's like every episode, she just can't be civil about it. And I don't know what Carl's like behind the scenes and stuff, but it seems like he's just like, we have mutual friends. We're going to be around each other constantly. Can we just not make this all about us and make a big scene? Yeah, she said it 2 or 3 times in her speech, like my ex fiance.
She does when she chats, I think later with the ladies in the episode, she does mention that she texted Carl thanking him for the gift and stuff. So
Yeah.
she at least recognized that that was a genuine, nice thing that he did.
Sure.
So yeah, it was interesting. We got one of the lines that I remember from the preseason trailer. So Bailey says like bye to Carl because he leaves, and they hug, and she's like, "Ooh, physical contact engaged." And Levi's like, "Oh yeah, that was good flirting." And then Bailey's like, "I just want to eat shrimp and die alone," like in reference to like just not wanting to deal with like dating, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember that being in the trailer, so calling that out. So then I think the last thing of note from the housewarming, Amanda, Sabrina, Dara, and Bailey are chatting. And, Sabrina has clearly been getting updates from Ben about like everything that's been going on and hearing about Amanda and Kyle's struggles. And so Sabrina like jumps in. She's like, "Oh, I'm dying to know what's happening with your relationship. Like, you deserve love. If this is it, that's great. But, if it's not, you deserve to be happy." And Amanda's kind of like, "This is weird. Why do you know so much about me when I'm just meeting you?" I was curious what you thought.
A couple of things. Number one, your reality TV personality to be
Everybody
so
knows a lot about you.
everybody your business is the world's business. Like nothing is secretive. I thought that was a little bit of a ridiculous comment, but I know what she means. Like in that timeline, none of this has aired yet. So that means that all the information she has is coming from Ben. So she feels like Ben is taking all this quote unquote personal information and conversations. But of course he's doing that.
Yeah.
I will say though, Sabrina is kind of coming in hot. Like
Yeah.
she's like drooling over Ciara, and which is kind of cute, but like
Yeah.
it's like she needs to kind of rein it in a little bit, and then to go up to Amanda and start giving like relationship advice and stuff. I could see both sides of it, but I just rolled my eyes when Amanda was like, how does she know so much about me? Like this is, personal stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see both sides of it too. I did think she came in a little bit hot, but who knows like how it flowed in the conversation. Maybe it made more sense if you had like heard the whole conversation.
True.
The other question I had, does Sabrina have a Midwest accent? I feel like I was hearing something in there, but
what words did she say that
I don't know.
stuck out?
We'll watch out for it next episode.
Yeah, I didn't notice any accent, but it seems very nice. But yeah, it was definitely like to Jesse's point also, it's like we don't know this person. This is the first time we're meeting her, and it's like all of a sudden like she's one of us, like she's like a castmate almost, and so it's a lot early on, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. We find out later that, well, allegedly Amanda said in her conversation with Sabrina, everybody thinks Ben's in love with me, but we don't see that happen. So
Right.
I'm interested. Like, I thought that was weird that they didn't actually show us that
I thought that
statement.
too, yeah.
That was weird.
Because was it properly quoted? Like, was there like misinterpretation? Was the tone off?
Yeah.
I don't know. Without seeing
But
that
also,
conversation.
now that we know Amanda's really shady to other girls, I mean, she did seem a little bit jealous already of Sabrina
Mhm.
hitting it off with Ciara. So who knows? Maybe she was a little bit mean in making that
Yeah,
comment.
it tracks. I mean, that sounds like something she would say. Like we talked
Yeah.
last episode about how even if she's not cheating, she seems to want attention from
All the
people,
guys to be about
especially
her.
the guys. Yeah, yeah,
And,
exactly.
I think she loves the attention that Ben gives her. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, even if there's not a romantic relationship going on or cheating or like they haven't hooked up or anything, I think she still wants the attraction to be there. So she's a little
yeah.
bit jealous.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that wraps up the housewarming. And then we see Ciara in Belmont, North Carolina, which looks like it's a suburb of Charlotte. And Ciara is going to the house that she just bought, her grandparents' house, to meet with an architect to talk about the renovations. And she's talking about how, she sees her buying this as kind of helping restore her grandparents' original plan of helping build generational wealth for the family. It's really sweet. It's not like immediately in order, but we see while she's there, we see her have a sit down with her mom and they talk about her dad doesn't know that she's bought the house yet because she
Yeah.
bought it through like a lawyer with an LLC and stuff, which was
Yeah,
interesting.
all the hoops she had to go through just to like keep it a secret that she was the one buying the house. It was kind of sad, but
Yeah,
glad
and
it
I'm
worked out for
curious.
her.
Like, it sounds like her relationship with her dad's really complicated. She said she hasn't talked to him in about 4 years. And she said she wanted to get the house fair and square. So I was curious, like, if she thought maybe it would just make it more complicated of a dynamic and she just didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it was sweet to see her conversation with her mom and her mom talking about how proud she is of her.
Yeah. Did you notice like the drinks that they ordered and stuff? So Sierra got like a chai
Uh huh.
latte or something like that.
Yeah.
And then her mom got like a
Her mom got a
cappuccino.
cappuccino.
Sierra was like, "Do you want to try some of mine?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to try that."
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm good with my cappuccino."
Yeah, I noticed that too. So, okay. So, um, back in the city, we see a couple of different like scenes intercut. It's Tuesday, so it must be like after the weekend that we missed. Bailey's on the phone with her dad talking about, I guess she did a Scarlett Johansson interview, which is cool. We see Dara and KJ getting pedicures. It's like Dara's footage from her phone. Love a good pedicure. And then we see Jesse in the studio singing.
I will say, and we've hit on this before, he does have a good voice. He has a good singing voice. Yeah, it's more just him like taking him seriously because he's like goofy on the show and everything like that. Like it made me laugh though. The producer, whoever in the studio, was like, "Yeah, sick, nailed it." Just funny.
Apparently, he performed at Lindsay's housewarming. He performed a song, but that got cut out. So I feel bad for him that scene got cut. Yeah,
Yeah,
that kind of sucks.
yeah. Oh, speaking of getting cut out, for the city, I did see something with Carl being interviewed, and they were like, "Are you mad that you weren't invited to be on the show?" And I think he kind of understood. He was like, "This is about people that are in this other chapter of their lives. They're either they have kids, or they're married, or they're like in a committed relationship, and I'm single. Like, it doesn't really make sense for me, but I'm here if they want me to be on the show. Like, I would love to be a part of it."
Yeah, sounds like he's happy to be invited to be on the show if they're interested, but he wasn't holding it against anyone that he's not a
Right.
cast member.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very mature, Carl. Okay, so it's Wednesday, and we see Mia, Amanda, and Lindsay meet for some drinks and some food. Amanda mentions that like she hopes they're moving in the right direction. Couples therapy feels like their last option, but so I don't know if she's as hopeful as Kyle.
The way I hear her say last option means like this is the last step to get him off my back before we can get divorced. It's like
Maybe, yeah.
once we've done this, I can say like, "Okay, look, see, I tried everything. Now let's get divorced."
Yeah. And then we learn some more about Mia, and she talks about how she's basically has an agreement or a contract with Scott that he can't be gone for more than 10 days at a time for business,
Yeah.
which was interesting. And we also see a flashback to Amanda talking about before her and Kyle's wedding that he signed some sort of contract saying like if he didn't control his drinking, they would call off the wedding and he would have to cover all the expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they should have never gotten married in the first place, people. Like,
Yeah.
not an original thought, but
right.
Just reminds you.
Yeah.
I mean, going into it, like there was cheating drama. They've always had issues. It never made sense to me.
Yep.
But yeah, so Lindsay's like has a lot more questions. She's like, okay, so do you like have a timeline?
Yeah.
Then Lindsay's
they show her
famous
timeline.
for her timelines.
Yeah. Her timeline from a few years back. It wasn't just like, all right, when I'm 30, I want to do this. When I'm 35, I want to it was like March of 2021, May of 2021. She had it down to the month. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. And that was her relationship with Stravi, the guy that got us how many sandwiches. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so we learn more about Mia. She's like, I'm 34. She wants to think about getting married and starting a family, but she also doesn't want to have like her partner be an absent parent and like feel like she's like a single parent within a marriage, which totally makes sense. And we do learn that both of her parents have passed, which was super sad. She lost her dad at 22 from cancer, and then her mom died suddenly about a year and a half ago. And so she talks about like she doesn't have a village, but she also talks about how, you know, she thinks having a baby would help heal her. She has so much love to give, and she has a void because she would give that love to her mom previously. So that was really heartbreaking, and it's nice to learn some more about Mia. I love Mia.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and they showed some like video with her and her mom, and like they seemed super close. Like they were like really tight. Yeah, that was tough. I felt bad for her.
Yeah, I was definitely tearing up.
Yeah.
But I think that was mostly it. Then we saw the conversation with Ciara and her mom, and then it's Friday, August 15th. And that's when I was like, wait, we skipped a weekend. So that's when we see people heading back to the summer house. And West, KJ, Dara, Jesse, and Bailey are in one car. And it's like Dara's first time kind of arriving as a part of the cast. So they're like, it's Dara's first weekend in the house. Their car looked really crowded.
Yeah.
I would not want to ride like that for 2 hours in the back seat. There's 3 rows of seats. I didn't understand why they were all crammed together. Maybe it's something to do with filming, but
yeah, just easier to have them all in one shot, probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Mia, Ciara, Carl, and Ben are also driving together. So we see a couple updates from their car. Mia's like really hyper. She's like, oh, I just had a cold brew. So she's all hyped up.
I can relate
this
to
is
that.
when
Yeah. that's how I am after my cold brew.
This is when we also learned that Lindsay texted Carl to thank him. And we kind of see a conversation, or they ask Carl, like, do you think you could ever be friends again? And he's kind of like, well, never say never. And then we learn a little bit about how Carl is feeling. Last weekend was the 5-year anniversary of his brother's passing. And he was just like, you know, Jesse and Mia checked in on me. Ben and Carl met up with Jesse also. But Kyle didn't reach out to him. So Carl's feeling like hurt and feels like he needs to address it with Kyle. And I guess we'll talk more about that when we have
actual conversation.
When we get to the part with Kyle and Carl having their conversation. But
I mean, that's almost kind of what bothers me, though, is that it doesn't happen sooner. But yeah, anyway.
And then we also learned that Ben needs to chat with Amanda. This is when we hear about Amanda's joke not going over well with Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see it being something that, like, I could definitely see Amanda doing that and Sabrina being like, what the hell? But also Ben really doesn't like jokes about Amanda. He seems very defensive.
Yeah. I just think he's like tired of being caught in the crossfire. Like, why am I getting accused of something here?
Yeah. So everybody arrives, and there's a couple of notes I had. West is looking for a shaker, and he finds one that's full from like 2 weeks ago, and he says there's blue cheese in it. It's so disgusting. And they're like, just throw it away.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about what they're going to do. And they're like, we're going to go to mini golf and a driving range and then go out. We have to go out for Dara's first weekend. And they're like, Dara, what do you want to do? And she's like, I would like for us to hold hands and share our deepest, darkest secrets. And Amanda goes, well, we're not going to do that. And I was like, oh, of course Amanda would be the one that doesn't want to share her deepest, darkest secrets at this moment.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced that there's anything more, or at least timeline wise. Like, I don't think anything was going on then, but
Yeah, I'm unsure. I
yeah,
don't know what I
I mean,
think
nothing
yet.
should surprise us anymore. So who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not going to assume I know anything.
But yeah, so then we have the two different conversations. We have Jesse, Ben, and Carl chatting outside, and then West is talking with Kyle inside. And, Carl talks about how he was upset about Kyle not reaching out to him. And West is kind of relaying that same information to Kyle. And then Kyle's like, well, I was stressing because I had a really important call that day. I had to do laundry. I had to pack. Wes is like, don't bring up laundry when you talk to Carl. Just say you're sorry and that you forgot.
I'm so mad at West right now. So
I know.
it pains me, but
Yeah.
he's just like, he's saying exactly what's in my head. I'm like, Kyle,
Yeah.
stop. Like, just say you're sorry. It doesn't have to be this thing. Please forgive
And
me.
to your point, like, why did he have to wait for Carl to bring it up? Why couldn't he have just
Right.
pulled him aside and said, like, I realized that I screwed up. I'm sorry.
Because West was like, do you know why he's mad? And he's like, is it because of Loverboy or the investment? And he's like, no, it's because he didn't text him on the anniversary of his brother's death. And he's like, oh, so like he obviously was just realizing in that moment. Carl's there. He's at the house. Like, go over immediately and be like, dude, I somebody just told me, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. But he waits until the night, and like now they're like been drinking all day, and he doesn't even go up to him at that point. It's Carl has to take him
Right.
aside. But yeah, I agreed with West. I was like, if he just did it in that moment, I really think it would have just blown over.
Like, I also think that if this were more of an isolated incident where Carl was feeling good about Kyle's friendship and that happened, I don't know if he would have been as upset. Like, I think he still would have been upset, but it might not have built up to such a big thing. Like, maybe he would have felt more comfortable bringing it up when they have their conversation. Like, it's clearly, this is like the worst part of it, but like he's felt disconnected and that Kyle's not there for him in general.
Right.
So, lately at least.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of like a straw that broke the camel's back a little bit.
Yeah. Agreed.
We see everybody get ready to go to the golf place. And it's funny because like half the cast is dressing in like more sportier golf related attire. And half the cast is just like dressing like they're going out. Mia tells Ciara she's dressed like she's going to Tulum or Ibiza. And she's like, well, I'm single and you're not. But she has like these huge platform wedges on. And she's like, I can golf in anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jesse and Ben are definitely, and Carl are dressed in like appropriate golf attire. And everybody else is kind of like Mia has a sporty dress on, but the rest it's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Dara is like, oh, I'm worried about my par. Is that what you say? And then Jesse's like, no, say I want to go love. And it was like, was he just being funny? Like,
no, that's not what he said. He said, I want to go low.
Oh.
Yeah, like golf.
Okay.
You want to low scores. Like, I want to go low. I want to get some birdies.
I thought he was like talking about tennis, like go love or something like that. I was like, what are you talking about? Got it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually watch with subtitles on, so maybe the subtitle got it wrong. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, so what they get there, and then it's kind of like half the people do putt-putt and half the people do the driving range. Ciara, Mia, Ben, Jesse, and Carl do the driving range. Whose swing was the best?
Yeah, so I was actually surprised. Jesse had a decent swing. And then they only showed like a weird angle of Carl but they kind of showed his follow through, and I was like, that's pretty solid. That's decent. And then I think like we've seen Kyle before, and I thought he had like a decent swing. But so I did some internet sleuthing, and I tried to see if any of them actually keep a handicap, and the only one I could find, and I don't know if it's the same Jesse Solomon, maybe it's a different one, but there was a Jesse Solomon in New York, and he was like a 17 handicap, so it's respectable. But yeah, I couldn't find
Funny.
like Kyle or Carl. Yeah,
Well,
but yeah.
Ciara's swing looked pretty good too,
Well, yeah. So
especially
Sierra
given her shoes.
in her footwear, and like I don't know if it actually like he was like that went 250 yards, but it sounded like pretty solid contact, and to do that in those shoes, I don't know if I could do that in those shoes. I'm impressed.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, big props to Sierra.
Carl seemed like he knew what he was doing because he's at least a little bit because he gave Bailey some tips too.
Yeah, yeah. I wish they showed more of Carl's swings. Yeah.
The only thing that I wrote down from the putt putt group was like Kyle can't find the hole. I was like, of course. And when the groups come back together, they had like ordered some food, and the putt putt group comes over and they're like, "Oh, is there like ranch or blue cheese?" They're like asking all these questions, and Mia's like, "God damn, do we work here?" She's like, "Ask a waiter." This is when Carl pulls Kyle for a chat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I guess they've filmed at this place before because they also have batting cages. And we see a flashback to Carl fighting with Luke at the batting cages. And I kind of remember this, but I had to refresh my memory. So Carl was mad at Luke for asking out a berries instructor that Carl had already been kind of like pursuing because they're like Luke was breaking bro code. And I was like, oh,
Remember
are they
this?
like bringing
Yeah.
this up because of like bro code being broken?
That's funny. Yeah, it's coming back to me now.
I was like, is this some foreshadowing?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have their conversation. Kyle apologizes. He does say,
Kind
like,
of.
I have no excuse. I spaced. I feel like I've been letting you down. And Carl's like, I've been trying to figure out how to talk to you. I felt disappointed. I was hoping to hear from my best friend. I feel like our friendship is disconnected. And then this is the part I didn't like because Kyle's like, well, if you feel like I let our friendship slip, like you're not inviting me to do things.
Yeah, he's like, you're doing all this cool shit, and not inviting me to it. I was like, oh my god, Kyle, stop it.
But like also, hasn't Kyle been gone for the last 6 months on his like DJ pursuits? So
Yeah, I have no idea what his actual availability is, but that's it's not even the point. Like it's like he's talking about a text message, like text me on
right.
this day to see how I'm doing.
Check in on me. Like just check in on me. You don't need to be like planning everything with me.
Right. It's not about inviting you to like parties and stuff like that. That's not what he's talking about. I just didn't like the way that Kyle was talking. Like he keeps on like kind of not giving him space to say what he needs to say, and then he's like, "It's cool, man. If you don't have the words to say right now, like come find me when you figure out what you want to say." And he's like, he is telling you, like you're not listening, and he's just like shutting him down. It was really frustrating.
He's like, "Oh, I don't want to hold you back. You good? Like, are we done here? Like, let's move on."
Conversation over. Like what?
Yeah, I didn't like that. He like kind of took over.
Yeah,
and Carl says like he has to get better at having tough conversations. He's like, I kind of wanted to say fuck you. Like who else do you have that shows up and cares for you if you don't have me? Like, do you have another friend that actually like is genuinely like looking out for you? So I think Carl's feeling kind of neglected and like it's a one-sided friendship right now. So then we have the Ben Amanda chat start, at least the start of it. When Ben pulls Amanda, like she looked like so frightened. Everybody online is like, and anytime someone's like, oh, I need to talk to you about something, she looks like really like, oh my God, what is this going to be about? Like, do they know? And like you said, who knows, like if anything was going on at that point, but you can't help but wonder.
If we do find out that this goes back earlier, then I think I am going to rewatch this like entire season and with that perspective in mind. Cause I mean, they've already shown, like clips or like snippets of them like how close they are. Like they're always like sitting next to each other and touching hands and stuff like that. And so it just kind of makes you wonder.
Oh yeah, and I forgot when we were talking about the In the City trailer, there's a scene where her and West meet up on the street and she's like, "Hey cutie," and he's like, "Hey Mandy," and they like hug.
Yeah.
I'm like, did they just add that scene in because of the scandal to the trailer?
Right. Yeah. So this is in the fall, right? So this
Yeah.
is supposedly before anything has happened, but yeah, I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
time will tell. But yeah, so the Amanda and Ben have their sit down, and Ben is, explains that Sabrina was pretty upset by Amanda's comment at the end of their conversation. That like, everybody thinks Ben's in love with me, and Ben's like, I don't know why you said that, and Amanda's like, oh, I was singing your praises in the conversation. It wasn't my intention to like hurt her or whatever. So who knows? But Sabrina felt like it was a dig at her, which I think it was, given how I think Amanda was jealous. And I think she was like trying to get a dig at her in a way that she could still kind of get away with it.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so then we see scenes for next week that we have a party. I don't know. It didn't really look like a lot of costumes, so it's hard to tell if there was a theme going on. We do see Amanda apologizing to Sabrina. They make it look like it's kind of tense. I don't know if it really is. We see Carl still struggling to tell Kyle how he feels. And then we also see West getting handsy with a different girl right in front of Ciara. So I'm assuming that's related to when we saw in the mid-season trailer, something happened and Ciara got upset. Which again, now that we have this whole scandal and we know West is with Amanda, it just feels gross to have
Yeah.
like the storyline of like, oh, is he gonna be with Ciara or not?
Right. Yeah. In a way, it makes me, because like when they showed that preview before we knew about the West and Amanda stuff, I felt bad because I was like, oh man, like it was will they, won't they, and this is making the chances of them ending up together less likely because he's potentially like hooking
Screwing
up
up
with somebody
again.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it's gonna end it. But little did I know that that it's not gonna happen, and it's gonna be in an epic way that it doesn't happen. So
Yeah. All right. Well, what was your red flag of the week?
yeah, my red flag would be the Kyle stuff, and again, it's not that he forgot. People forget. You have busy lives. Stuff slips your mind. I will say in the future, Kyle, just set a reminder. Just put something on your phone, like, okay, I need to reach out to Carl on this
Yeah.
date. Don't leave that to chance. But yeah, it wasn't that he forgot. It was that he didn't. He just doesn't know how to apologize. It's just over and over again. I mean, Carl's comment was like, I can see what it's like for Amanda. It must be really tough to have a relationship with this person. So yeah, I just didn't like that he didn't immediately go to him, and then he just can't apologize in a selfless way. Like he has to make it about, well, I'm sorry, but you're doing this thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be my
Well,
red flag.
you stole my red flag because that was mine too. Uh,
Oh,
Kyle's inability to, apologize and take ownership of his actions.
yeah, I
But
mean, that was the only, I mean, other than maybe Amanda making the comment to Sabrina, but other than
yeah,
that, it was pretty drama free, I feel like.
who was your MVP for the week?
So I thought I was gonna go with somebody else other than Ciara this week because I liked Mia so much and with her parents and everything. So I almost went Mia, but then Ciara had to go and like hit some good golf shots in crazy shoes, and then she pulled me right back in. So honorable mention to Mia, but I think I'm going Ciara again. Sorry, Mia. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a hard choice for me because of all the reasons you said too. Um, but I think I'm gonna go Mia this week because we learned so much more about Mia, and she opened up and talked about her family, and She had some really good comments too. She had the, you look like you're going out in like Ibiza, and I'm dressed for like the tennis court or whatever. When they were getting ready, they also showed Mia like dancing and fanning her armpits at one point, which I thought was really funny. And I loved her comment, like, do you think we work here? So I also like would say Ciara too, but you picked her, so I'll pick Mia this week as my MVP.
We should do both of them, so that works.
All right, how many sandwiches are you giving this episode?
I'm going 4, just because there was golf content in there. So it kept my interest level. So yeah, I liked it because of the golf stuff, and then it was a good episode. There was a teensy bit of drama, but yeah, we learned more about Mia, and so there was some good like development, I guess, in the episode.
Yeah, I also picked 4 sandwiches. I think it's interesting because this episode was like mostly not at the summer house. Like we had the housewarming, we had Ciara's checking in on the house she bought, and then her meeting with her mom. We had the girls chat and learning more about Mia. And then we had like the golf stuff, which, was in the Hamptons, but not at the house. I think it was like a nice change. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard right now watching the show with the scandal going on. It kind of like puts this cloud over and kind of ruins some of the fun. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 sandwiches out of 5. So yeah, solid episode. We'll see how things go next week, and we'll see what happens on the internet by next week. So
we think there's 2 episodes left then? There's 2 weekends left, so maybe 2?
Oh, there's definitely more than 2 episodes left.
Oh, it's going till May, so...
Yeah, because In the City premieres on May 19th, right? Yeah, so there's 6 more episodes.
Okay.
Well, we'll be here. All right. Till next week.
See ya. Happy Masters
Bye.
Week.
Congrats.
All right.
Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, and leave us a rating and review.
If you have questions you want answered this season,
send them our way, because chances are Pat's wondering the same thing.